conversations with the hospitals, and we're working with them to identify a payment system that rewards better value instead of more volume. One pressure point from the last budget is in community mental health. That system is in transition as we elevate Medicaid to the state level and local systems take more control of non-Medicaid services. The governor is adding $3 million in the MBR to smooth that transition, focus on hotspots in the system, and reward collaboration among local boards. And the last example I'll mention is that in this work we identified gaps and inconsistencies in how agencies conduct criminal background checks and how they disqualify individuals from providing services if they have prior criminal convictions. The MBR creates a consistent policy across agencies with a focus on services where personal safety are critically important, like home health and transportation services. So these are 8 examples of the 50 that are in the bill. These reforms and the others in the MBR will allow us to improve overall health system performance and reduce costs. They build on our work to date and take it all to the next level. Governor, thank you for the opportunity.
Children's hospitals get a little bit of money?
Children's hospitals, I think you'll have an announcement in a couple of weeks about a little bit of money.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, we've also been doing a capital bill while we were doing the MBR project. Today, the governor has presented to the General Assembly his capital recommendations for the fiscal years 13 and 14 capital biennium. It's a $1.74 billion capital bill. 1.36 is GRF-backed bonds. The remaining $375 million is from various other state funds to be funded out of cash. This will be a restrained capital bill. This capital bill will be smaller than any in the last decade. Given the direct impact that capital appropriations have on operating budgets, we must pay back the money that we borrow. Given our focus on trying to restrain the growth of government, the cost of government, keep taxes low, we need to have a restrained capital bill. There was no capital bill proper in the last fiscal biennium. The state has a responsibility to take care of its numerous capital assets. This bill makes reasonable and appropriate allocation of resources to do just that. One of the most exciting things in this capital bill is the way in which the governor directed the universities in this state to work together as a true university system of Ohio, to challenge them to try to work together to allocate their capital resources to fund strategically important priorities for the system as a whole. The governor charged Ohio State President E. Gordon Gee with leading a collaborative commission. They went to work from December through early February, came up with a plan that was very responsive to the governor's suggestions. We have incorporated that collaborative committee's plan as presented in this bill. There's $400 million for higher education, about $31 million for statewide projects of statewide interest, another $369 million that will be distributed to the campuses for the projects that have been identified through the process led by President Gee. Additionally, the capital bill allocates $675 million for school facilities construction. As you know, we have a School Facilities Commission in this state that assists local school districts in the construction, reconstruction, renovation of their school facilities. We will continue on the program over this next 2-year period of time. 77 districts that are currently in progress will be funded. This bill provides enough resources that 40 to 50 additional districts could be offered resources in the next 2-year period of time. $425 million of this support will come from GRF-backed bonds. $250 million will be provided through the Lottery Profits Education Fund. Money that is attributable to the VLT licensing fees that will be paid by the racetracks that are interested in operating VLTs. These, of course, are one-time upfront fees, and so we think it makes sense to allocate those resources to capital expenses, to one-time expenses. The bill also contains $300 million for local infrastructure projects that are funded by GRF Beck bonds, and another $63 million through a revolving loan fund that's operated by the Public Works Commission. These monies will be distributed throughout Ohio through a process that exists in law to give money for roads, bridges, wastewater treatment plants, other local infrastructure projects that are identified regionally by the locals themselves. There's $290 million for state agency maintenance and renovation, and the bill focuses primarily on renovation and repair of the substantial capital asset base that the taxpayers have paid for over the years. $50 million for DNR for their various facilities, $67 million for DRC for the 28 corrections facilities that they operate. One other project I wanted to point out, there's $11 million in here for the Attorney General to modernize the BCI lab, which he operates in Bowling Green. It will be a project that will be done in cooperation with Bowling Green State University. If you're interested in more on the Capitol bill, I invite you to come watch me testify at 4 p.m. today in the House Finance and Appropriations Committee. Thank you.